that, let's debut the first song. And this, you've already heard a portion of this. This is, I've cut part of this out for the intro to the podcast. So here is the debut of The Uncredible, the opening song for the album, also called The Uncredible.
This one's for the workers, the ignored, the fathers, the mothers, the builders, the runners, the overlooked, the uncredible! Top of the class, master's degree, didn't mean a thing when we hit the real world. They told us education was the answer, then laughed in our faces and made us prove ourselves every day. Shifts, 13 on, 1 off, breaking our backs while the experts talk. Got the paperwork and the accolades, but we're still getting judged by the corporate games they play.
Top of our class, now we're punching clocks, building their world while the executives talk. Nobody notices, nobody cares, nobody knows all the sacrifices hide beneath these tears.
We are the night shift,
Swing shift,
day shift,
no quit,
no quit.
no quit.
We are the night shift,
Swing shift,
day shift,
no quit,
no quit.
no quit.
Building their world while they talk about us.
Talk about us, talk about us.
Educated, experienced, still not credible. So we embraced it and we became uncredible.
We may be unpopular, unseen, unproven, unappreciated, unwanted.
But we're unstoppable, unbreakable, unrelenting, unshakable. We are uncredible! We are the night shift,
Swing shift,
day shift,
no quit,
no quit.
no quit.
We are the night shift,
Swing shift,
day shift,
no quit,
no quit.
no quit.
Building their world
Building their world
while they talk about us.
all they talk about us.
Educated,
Experience,
still not credible.
so we embraced it.
Now we're uncredible.
All right, that is the debut of The Uncredible, the first track of the album, The Uncredible, and just a couple of notes from the lyrics to that song. I started it out for who this one was for, and I really wanted to set the tone for those people who are just forgotten people. I regret when I look back on this, writing this song, that I didn't put the truckers in there, because those are just another one of those just overlooked group class of people that we rely on them, and if they weren't there, we wouldn't be able to do it. But basically, this group of people who are uncredible, they don't get any accolades, but without them, we couldn't survive. So started it out that way so that people knew that this whole album, this song specifically, but this whole album is for them. This is, you look at musicians, they're not us, right? In general, it's tough because certain musicians are, but the ones that you're listening to on Spotify who make their living off of music and music videos and acting and things like that, they're not going to work the same way we are. In some ways they do go to work in their own way, but it's not the same. Like, look, I would assume if you're a musician, you're living out your dream and your passion. For those of us who are incredible, we're living a life of necessity. This wasn't our dream for ourselves. This wasn't our vision. If we could get paid to do what we love, we would do that. And the fact of the matter is, other priorities have made themselves crush dreams that we may have had, or hopes, or lives that we wish we would have had. We have other lives, and those lives are not it's not what we would have wanted, but it's not that we hate them, and nor that they're not respectable. It's just the simple fact that it's not what we would have wanted. And so it's to the people who are pushing through that monotony of everyday life to, and also trying to, like, on the side, do some incredible things. And so I really wanted to set the tone for the album and this song specifically by just explicitly saying this album, this song is for those people who are just doing every day. You're staring blankly at your life and going, this is not what I had imagined. And yet, got to keep going. And so it goes on. The first verse, I talk about top of the class, master's degree, didn't mean a thing when we hit the real world. That was very personal to me because that was my reality. I got a master's degree. I worked. I got the experience. I did everything I was supposed to do. And then I get out into these real world jobs, and you get the tip of the hat when you're in an interview, like, oh, good job. But even in my field, it didn't matter. It's like you did all this work, spent all this money, took all these loans, got all these, check boxes, and it didn't matter. You get to the workforce and they're like, okay, you got a degree. That's cute, right? It's like when you were in high school, it's like, oh, you got to go to college. What college are you going to go to? And this sort of thing, with this expectation that there's a job at the end of the rainbow, and there's not. There's just not. And some people would say, like, I listen to a lot of Caleb Hammer, and he would say, well, you picked a stupid degree. Valid, but also that wasn't part of the, like, conversation. It was like, what are you going to go into? And you go back to, I'm in my 40s now, but you go back 20 years, you weren't going into, like, the same types of things weren't emerging that actually emerged today. And so, some people got lucky on those bets of going to college, but most of us basically got screwed with all this debt, and we pay it, with interest back to the government or whoever the lien holder is. So then I go on to talk about 12-hour shifts, 13 on, 1 off, breaking our backs while the experts talk. And basically, there are people in leadership and in management of these companies that, separate from their position, they're not more qualified. They're just regular people. And a lot of times the people under them are more qualified, but they just didn't have the friend, or they didn't have the opportunity or whatever to get into that position. And I've seen it so many times where the people that are actually doing the work are way more qualified, and they shut up. They just shut up because the way the system is set up, you can't, it's like, it's insubordination to, like, your manager's a complete idiot, doesn't know what the heck they're doing. You tell them in kind words first, and then not so kind words second, and then it becomes like an attitude problem. It's like, the problem is not the attitude. The problem is your ignorance of the subject matter. And so often you see in corporate world people who are giving directives and setting out landscapes and plans, who cannot take the suit coat off and take the professional pants off and come out there and do the actual job. It's very frustrating for those people who actually do the job. Had a conversation just the other day with somebody where, like, if all those people disappeared tomorrow, this thing would still function just fine. It would just keep going. All those people would show up to work. Someone might notice after like a week that I haven't seen XYZ in a while, but it would just keep moving. So there's this line where I say, where I wrote, building their world while they talk about us. And part of the album later on is going to be this visual representation, or I guess not visual, this audio representation of an annual review. And it's this idea where the people who are working on the floor or in the cubicle or whatever it may be, they are on the front lines doing the work, while the people in leadership are just talking about them. I mean, if you think about it, their whole job is to evaluate people that they're not in many cases not qualified to evaluate. And it's like, so here we are building the entire world around you, and you're in an office or in a meeting talking about us. And it might not be us like any as an individual, but it might be like, what direction do we want to take this company? How are we going to get there? Oftentimes zero consideration for the amount of effort and work that's going to have to be applied. They just state directives and expect it to happen. And it's just sort of recognizing this reality that, like, your whole job is to talk about the people and to evaluate the people and direct the people who actually do the job. and your role kind of doesn't need to exist. Now, of course, there does need to be vision and there does need to be bookkeeping. All of that has its place, but none of that has a job without the people who are doing the work. So just kind of pointing that out. And then, of course, I have in here, we are the night shift, the swing shift, the day shift, no quit. And the whole idea here is that no matter what shift you work, I'm a night shifter, so I put that in there for myself, but we are those people who go to work, whether it's days, nights, swing shift, whatever it is, and we don't quit when that shift is over. There's more to do. There are families at home. There are dreams we're trying to aspire to. There are kids we're trying to raise, and all these things that there's communities that we're trying to uplift. That's where you go from just being a normal person, right? Just like an average guy who goes to work every day. You become uncredible. The idea of uncredible is when you put something on top of that monotony, that drudgery that is required for life. When you put something on top of that you don't get paid for, it's just you and your passion and your vision being applied to the world around you. That's where the heart of Uncredible is at. So.
No quit, no quit, no quit. Building their world, building their world. While they talk about us, all they talk about us. Educated, experienced, still not credible. So we embraced it. Now we're uncredible.